suffering they have known and the awfulness in their future, smiling and laughing while somebody in the village is very sick. There is laughter every day in the terrible streets of Calcutta, and the women laugh in the cages of Bombay. If we deny our happiness, resist our satisfaction, we lessen the importance of their deprivation. We must risk delight. We can do without pleasure, but not delight, not enjoyment. We must have the stubbornness to accept our gladness in the ruthless furnace of this world. To make injustice the only measure of our attention is to praise the devil. If the locomotive of the Lord runs us down, we should give thanks that the end had magnitude. We must admit there will be music, despite everything. We stand at the prow again of a small ship anchored late at night in the tiny port, looking over to the sleeping island. The waterfront is 3 shuttered cafes and 1 naked light burning. To hear the faint sound of oars in the silence as a rowboat comes slowly out and then goes slowly back is truly worth all the years of suffering that are to come. Thank you to our board for their incredible work, without which we would not be here tonight. There are 5 of us who have worked to pull together this festival. Excuse me. Like a garden, it has been a labor of love. Our backs hurt, we're a little sunburnt, and we have dirt under our fingernails. We hope you enjoy all the flowers and fruit we can offer tonight. Some of what you see was planted many years ago, and we hope more seeds take root here tonight. Thank you to all our sponsors and individual donors. Without these contributions, we will not be able to continue this work. And now I'll be passing the mic to our hosts for the evening, Alice and Sonny Kennedy and Ed Genesis. Thank you, guys.
We are all humbled, and sometimes we don't know what's next, so we have to ask. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the garden, lovely ones of all kinds. Speaking of the earth, we want to begin this festival by recognizing where we are at. We are in what is now referred to as Kalamazoo. Very importantly, we want to recognize all who have tended this garden and still do today. We acknowledge we are able to gather today because of the Anishinaabe people and all those who are indigenous to Turtle Island. May we gather knowing our own humility and gratitude and practice as fierce listeners and kind stewards. And now we'll hand it off to Ed. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I had one job. Yeah. I'm now going to hand it off to Ed to introduce where we are at in this church.
Yes. How's everybody doing? I will put the puppy back, but I thought he was so cute. I wanted him to come up here with me. I don't know if he has a name, but he was sitting on that table over there. I've been waiting to pull this. Hold on, too. I got it. How's everybody doing? All right, so I appreciate being here. My beard, I'm sorry, because the beard, the mask makes my beard go up in my nostrils. It flips it up, so I hate it. So I'm glad we staying safe though. So that is very important. My name is Ed Genesis, and guess what? I am. Let me take my glasses off. Because I am cool, so that's why I wear my glasses. So I am cool. I don't want y'all to think, it was just because of the sun. No, I am that cool. But This is my 6th year hosting the Kalamazoo Poetry Festival. Thank you. In a row. And what's so dope about that is we're talking about the garden and the seeds planted. And y'all got to give it up for Caitlin. Please give a round of applause. And to the whole Kalamazoo Poetry Festival, the whole board. But this awesome person right here, Sonny, AKA Allison Kennedy, is the reason why I did my first Kalamazoo Poetry Festival, where I attended with a person I affectionately call my niece, Jesselyn Dante. All I did was a poem, and I felt honored to be featured in one of the books. And I remember showing everybody in my family. I'm directly impacted and born and raised in Gary, Indiana. So this right here, I'm gonna take a picture too. I'm gonna take a selfie, if y'all don't mind, because this is like so dope. My mama gotta see this. That's what I mean. And this awesome, amazing person allowed me to be in my first one. So thank you. And thank you. So what I want to lift up, my part is I just wanted to give that up because I wanted to give some little history before giving the church history. Sojourner Truth. Y'all know about Sojourner Truth, right? Okay. Born into bondage and then activist, settling in Battle Creek, but spoke right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and in this church. So let me say that. May we also give thanks to this very building we are inside. Sojourner Truth was a guest preacher many times, and during the Civil Rights Movement, one of the pastors collaborated with black clergy in town to do a walk-in prayer vigils. This church welcomes LGBTQIA+ people into all levels of leadership and is a sanctuary church with clergy and have participated in the direct action against restrictive immigration policy. This place is home to only free drop-in daycare in town for 25 years and is excited to welcome their first woman senior pastor in June. Y'all give that up. I want to add before I leave that I spoke in this very church as an advocate. I was invited in to speak in this very church. Stood right there. My family and my wife, former Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin, was right here. That was dope. And then also I know about the sanctuary because I was a part of Michigan United. And so we did do work. And I won't even say any names. If y'all know, you know. But that's what it is. I love the fact that we're in this space. This is historical, and this is how seeds are planted and the garden grows.
Woo! Yes, that is beautiful. Thank you, Ed. We also want to take a moment to acknowledge, and we're just setting the scene, and we're being intentional. We want to set the scene and welcome our local poetry ancestors and acknowledge them, because we have an incredibly rich community, and we want to honor people who have recently passed, including Conrad Hilberry, Donna Efland, Chris Ballmer, Herb School, John Woods, Kirk Latimer. Woo. We've had some greats here. I just think it's important that we know that they're with us this weekend and to think of them because none of us would be here without some of their nurturance. And there are more to that list too. Thank you for keeping all of your poetry ancestors in mind this weekend. The first guest we are going to welcome is actually a different kind of poetry, and that is Basic Comfort. Is that what's happening? Yeah, you got it. Please give it up for Basic Comfort.
Thank you. While they get ready, I'm just gonna say you said some really powerful names here, and it shook me, honestly. Chris Bomer was my English teacher back in high school, and I honestly, he was one of the biggest influences in my entire life. He taught me how to love myself at a really, really young age. And he taught me how to be creative. He taught me how to embrace my creativity and how weird I was. So I honestly, now I feel like I want to dedicate this to him. And you also said Sam's mom's name. I don't have words for that. So thank you all for having us. This is going to be a really cool show. Sure. This first song is called Danny, and I hope you enjoy it. 1, 2, 3.
You gotta be going through it. You gotta be wishing you were home. I know you can get through this. In the end, it's gonna set you free. I hope you know I'm here for you. All you gotta do is call me on my phone, so you know Thank you. This next one's called Please. When you call me after midnight, I don't know what it means. I can't see the light. Probably shouldn't make assumptions, but I know that I'm hurting, waiting for you. Got to tell me what it is, what you need, because I'm losing my way over here. What do you say? What are you saying now? What do you need? What are you saying? What are you saying now? What do you need? What are you saying? I need something. When you tell me that you want to, does it mean that you actually come through? Probably shouldn't bank on that one, but I know that I'm hurting, waiting for you. You got to tell me what it is, what it is, what you need, what you need. Cause I'm losing my way. Over here. What are you saying? What are you saying now? What do you need? What are you saying? I need something. What are you saying now? What do you need? What are you saying? I need something. What are you saying now? What do you need? What are you saying? I need something.
Thank you. Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you so
Thank y'all
much.
so much. So we got one more for you, but we'll be back later. This next song is called Drift. Thank y'all for having us. This is a great, I got chills right now. It's kind of crazy right now. So this is super cool.
Next one's called Drift. Paul. Getting off this train today, seeing different places. Drove through mountains, saw some trees, can't even explain it. Having conversation in a crowded room, Getting off this train today, seeing different faces, working hard all day and night, hoping to make changes. Looking deep inside myself, I can really see a part of me that just wants to be. The drift is the way to this peaceful center. The closer you come to it, the less you wonder who you are. The drift, go back and go back and find your heart straight. Go back and get it. Go back and find your difference.
Thanks, y'all. We're Basic Comfort. This is a great event. Hope you guys slam those poetries. Is that how you go? Is that how it goes? Slam poetry?
Thank you so much. All right. Now we are going to hear even more poets. And for our poets who are coming up, just as folks get tucked away, I'm going to tell you how poets are going to read. So you're going to step through here, past Ryan, over these cords, up the stairs. There's going to be 2 steps. You don't think there's 2, but there's 2. And you step up here.
But without the puppy.
Oh, yeah. Without the puppy. Ed needs the puppy. And then you're going to get up here and you're going to project, even if you're scared. So we are going to welcome a wonderful first poet who I know is an incredible projector. Please welcome Marissa! Woo! We clap until they get to the mic. We clap until they get to the mic. Woo!
Hi, everyone. Hey, everybody. There we go. As my friend said, I am a projector because I'm actually an actress. I'm not a poet, but I do have a lot of respect for poets. One of my really, really great friends is a poet, and you will hear from her tonight as well. So I just want to thank you all for having me tonight. It's such a blessing to be a part of a community that offers things like this, and I know there's other things going on around town this weekend as well in the arts, so I'm so grateful that we are doing this in this space. Yeah, y'all can clap. All right, so I'm gonna be reading 2 poems by Chaz Shamil Hodges. Chaz is an avid reader, writer, poet, and actress out of the Chicago area. This first one is called Melanin Ode. Dear Black woman, I adore you. Your pigment, the way you crave to be moisturized and freshened with natural oils only created in the crevices of Earth's aloe. You are holy, like Grandma's Sunday purse candy, butterscotch, and peppermints. You remind me of my ancestry. You remind me of my dad. Strong presence, hearty laugh, encompassing hands, rough and smooth and gentle and reliable. A vision, a mountain of a man, unstoppable. Beautiful black woman. Your voice sounds as sweet as colored kids opening Ivy League acceptance letters. You whip your tongue around syllables like the girls in my hood play double dutch. With easy swag, the kind that the aura possesses before the mind even knows it wants it. Black woman, you taste like black-eyed peas and greens for the new year. Greens for the dollars and peas for the change. And what a beautiful change you are. You've changed Mississippi porch monkeys into the talented 10th, hood rats to honored NAACP guests, archetypes into activists. You come to me like a Monday morning black woman, starting each new week with the promise of a 7-day evolution, a midweek revolution, and I adore that. This second poem is called God is a Black Woman. This is what it feels like to be a woman with love in her skin and dirt under her nails. Never trade the beauty of loving in full sentences, saying it with your chest, the absolutes. It's true, it's solid, no promise ever forgotten. The simplicity of following your bliss and being influenced from that place. The world shifts to you. You don't shift for the world. There is magic coursing through your wounds. They heal like you've never been hurt. You may remember the scar, even if you no longer sport it. That is alchemy. Taking the experience for the level up, but leaving the blood and the pain behind. We learn early from ourselves. Our molecules teach us the beauty of transformation. In fact, it is the thing that we should be the most comfortable doing. It's all we'll ever do. The special ones learn how to do it on their terms. And that is power. In there is God. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Y'all keep giving it up. Keep giving it up. All right, so we're going to welcome to the stage next, Kathy Maguki. Did I say that right? All right, thank you. All right. All right, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It is just wonderful to be a part of this event. Thank you. So I have trouble misreading things, and part of it is because getting older and the print is getting smaller and the bifocals aren't working so well. And also because I read too quickly, a habit I developed when I was studying for my PhD exams. So I'm going to read 2 poems tonight that deal with misreading. Exam. When I drop quarters in the meter near Bronson Park, I always buy more time than I need. My optometrist says nearsighted people focus on what's within reach. If I remove my glasses, clouds form faceless smears. The horizon becomes a concept like kindness or faith. My optometrist is nearsighted too, and doesn't mind when in the darkened room I can't choose between the lenses he flips through. One or two. Better or worse. His machine presses my head into the chair. He hands me a small laminated card, illuminates it, and asks me to read words the size of a grain of rice on the church steps, the freckle at the corner of my husband's mouth, my infant daughter's eyelash. As he takes the card back, he says I did well, only I've mistaken tersely for tenderly, an alien for alive. Thank you. This next poem is Lone Ham. I'm skimming an essay on loneliness when the caption under a woodcut illustration stops me. Lone Ham. Maybe this essay goes beyond suffering is caused by desire, it's the human condition, life is change and we resist, etc. That lone ham, is it on a platter at Christmas or Easter, honey glazed and vibrating with the loneliness of those who gathered around it, who've somehow agreed not to mention politics or gender? That leaves mudslides and hurricanes. Or is it a pandemic ham, useless, riding out the holiday in the depths of a home freezer? The essays in a newsletter that keeps on arriving, though I've unsubscribed multiple times, which leaves me to confront this existential ham on my screen. Well, how to go on? Like always, I guess, by considering the future an hour at a time and not all at once. For instance, I imagine my dog discovers the lone ham unattended. We've all left the table to admire the slant of light on a goldfish bowl, and my dog feasts on it in wild delight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. And next up, please welcome Jen Clark. Ooh, definitely.
I'm going to read one poem, and it was just about last year at this time when my son was taking a physics class, and so I tried to have a conversation with him about physics, and he said, "You don't know anything, you're a poet." So this was my way to show him, I will show you. If poets were forced to teach physics, and by force, I mean that frictional force, as they move across the skin of Earth, uncovering truths as everything under their feet heats up while exerting friction in the opposite direction. Friction, the poet will tell their students, results when truth and untruth press closely together. When a poet leans against truth, truth can't help but push horizontally on that poet. The students will be astonished. The poet will not ramble, will in fact get right to the point-like particle and ask, what is the girth of grief? They will caution not to stumble over the common mistake of confusing sorrow with mass. They will demand more than one equation for each problem. For example, what equation can you come up with that will measure the distance of our collective fears from the equator? How much does that fear separate us from ourselves, others? They will remind students that the weight of a word is not static. It depends upon where in the universe that word is being emitted and by whom. And while no one so far has been able to calculate joy or hope, it is good to know that if joy leaps into a black hole, it can never be fully swallowed. While it may feel like gravity overwhelms, joy entangles with keys, hope, chipped coffee cups, and anything else that has entered the event horizon. And long after the poets and students have died, or maybe before they are born, joy jumps back into the world.
Thank you so much. Y'all keep giving it up, keep giving it up. We need that amongst each other. And I wanted to say something before I introduce my sister, the next speaker, because the theme of tonight is the garden. That's this year, the garden. This is my first year asking to do a workshop. And the reason why is because this spoke so much to me. And it's happening again tonight even. Like me and the co-host, Sonny, just sitting there talking. And people can literally walk up and speak to Sonny and just act like I'm not right there. And we were in the middle of a conversation. I asked, could I do a workshop? Because I feel so overlooked in this community a lot of times. It is not just me. And I was gonna go put my pink on to match with my co-host. And I didn't have a time because I went and mentored at Millwood. And I left Millwood and went and mentored at the Douglas Community Center. And the Kalamazoo Public Library just bought 750 copies of my coloring book. I am somebody. Speak to me when you see me. I'll speak back. I'll say hello. I'll say hello. We're all in this community together. If not, you will see some of the withered weeds that just tip over and we wonder, doesn't the sunlight hit me like it hits you? Am I not somebody too? And I see it don't matter it doesn't matter the accolades or the titles or whatever you're doing. It still happens, and it feels different for me sometimes because I know what it is. And so I have to wonder in my mind, is it because of my skin color? Is it because I have to ask so many different questions, but what I just announced in my part of the thing was that this was a sanctuary. This is a safe place, right or wrong? This is a safe place. Let's love on one another a little bit. If not for nothing else tonight, fake it. Act like you love somebody different, because I know, I'm looking around, I can count on one hand the black people in the room. So if I see another black person and you don't acknowledge me, I take that personal. I'm telling you that. If I see any of my people, because we're all human beings, and this is a sanctuary, a safe place. So before I leave, I want to say that even though the late, great Sojourner Truth came and spoke in this church, if you know about the Green Book, which was a book that was placed for black people in order to have safe travel, go to the Ford Museum and see that Kalamazoo is not mentioned. It's never been a safe place. I'm not demanding respect. I'll go off to the side and probably call my wife and say they did it to me again, that I'm still unimportant. I don't know what I have to do, or I don't know what I have to do. But I'm gonna keep fighting because I want it better I got a grandson out here. And I want y'all to smile and hold your head up and say, how you doing today? All of us, because we're all human beings, that's it. And one day, the Green Book, the new Green Book will say Kalamazoo as a whole is a safe place for everybody. All races, all genders. Can I get something to that? There we go. And so without no further ado, Somebody who I know that keeps it true. I want to give it up for my sister, Tanisha Pyrie. Come to the stage and bless the mic, please. Kill it, kill it. All right, give it up, give it up.
Hello, everyone. Hello. So I actually go by a creative alias. My poetry handle is Pretty Fire the Poet. I recently published my very first volume of creative original poetry called Black Pool of Genius, Volume 1. And that's right, it's on Amazon. And when people ask me what kind of art I make, I tell them that I am a subversive black girl artist. Like Sojourner Truth and like my brother was saying, historically and even now today, for many women of color, to be able to live a free and happy life, one must go counter-current, counter-culture, and counter-popular thought where our culture is at. So I make art for women like me. So I'm gonna do 2 pieces for you today. And the first is a love poem. And it is a riff off of the pedal pull. You know, he loves me not, he loves me. So this piece is titled, Does He Love Me? He loves me not. He loves me not. He loves me. Does he love me? I wonder. Insecure, I'm restless, anticipating his response. I wait and wait and wait. Is this fool out on a date? Who in the hell is this bitch? Who is she? Because she ain't me. Is she pretty? No, she ain't pretty. She ain't fly. Now, why did he do it, Lord? Why did he have to go and make me cry? Guess he loves me not. Eyes swollen, face covered in snot. This is not hot, not a good look at all. Damn, I feel small and smushy and flat and green and brown and envious and emotional, coming apart at the seams. It seems a bit silly, I know, but let us pray. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, let this hoe fly away. Let this witch die. Let her fall off a cliff. Let her get hit by a bus. Let my man come home. Forgive me, Lord, but even if I have to scheme and lie and cry and cuss, let her be the one to face the tears and face her own fears, feelings of inadequacy and abandonment, because I know positive and for sure I am what he really needs. I think. Probably, hopefully, maybe, just so long as he loves me. This second piece is titled 2 Shots. It is an original poem inspired by the loss of my brother, Paul Pyron III, on the south side of Chicago due to gun violence in 2015. This is the one piece of art that I was able to make from that experience. And a lot of times, you know, just like my brother was speaking to the depth of it and this garden motif, I led a workshop myself called The Tree of Life. And so often, art has been a lifeline and a safe haven for me. Even the ugly feelings, even the things that people aren't comfortable with hearing. I'm so glad that I have space in my own creative journey for that. So this one is for you, brother. 2 shots. 2 shots. One to the body, the other clean through the heart. 21 years of life over before he really got a start. He could have been smart. He could have invented things. He could have cured cancer. He had high hopes. He had desires and dreams. Just like that, his chest caved in, collapsed in around itself. Hard to breathe or to believe that this would be his end. Inhale, pray. Exhale, heave. Words of forgiveness. Sister, help me. Brother, I'm sorry. Daddy, protect me. Mama, why me? God, why me? Mama, help me. Daddy, I'm sorry. Brother, protect me. Sister, save me. Words lodged in his throat. Choke, cry, scream. The body remains, but the spirit leaves. 2 shots. One piercing the spine, the other shattering bone, fragments, pieces, parts, halves, whole. He was starting to turn cold. Numbness, paralysis, chill, tingling, taking hold, starting with the extremities and making their way to the heart. Cold, life fleeting, leaving the body, crying, praying, bleeding, pleading, wanting, needing a little bit more time. Time to make love to his lady. Time to kiss his mother and tell her he loved her. Time to shake his father's hand and look him in the eye, man to man. Time to see and hug his brothers and sisters again. Time to be a father, to be a man, to be a friend. He needed time to pray, to cry, to scream, to breathe hard, to pray, to think, to forget, to remember, to forgive, to forget, to cleave, silver cord of life severed. He wasn't ready to leave. Cold. Not like this. So tired. So hard to breathe. My God, why have you forsaken me? Breathe. Son of David, have mercy on me. I can't breathe. Giving up the ghost. The body remains, but the spirit leaves. The final shot. One to change the world forever, or to rest in peace. The body remains, but the spirit leaves. One final shot, the one that killed him, lodged forever in us deep. The world moves on, but those of us that loved him, we remember and we grieve.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you, Pretty Fire. Woo! All right. I'm going to invite us all to take a breath. And please welcome a very early reader, a reader who needs all of your support. Please welcome Phoenix Haven Alarsho. Woo.
Hi, so because I feel safe and comfortable in this space, I would like to come out to all of you, even though many of you are strangers. I am genderqueer, and I recently, well today, just accepted that about myself, so. I know a lot of trans people have complicated feelings about their dead names, but for me, I've been doing drag under it for so long, I might as well make it my pen name. This piece was written for my SIP, my senior thesis at Kalamazoo College, and I hope that you enjoy it. So, here we go. The Prince of Nashville, the Regatta Kid, and the Track Star. 1. Are you the Scarlet Pimpernel on the side of the bourgeoisie? Am I the aristocrat's wife? You are feminism's golden boy, white hot fire lines, warm as Dockweiler Beach bonfire eyes. Thank God women got the vote. Thank God we're still in the climate accord. Oops, never mind. The world is burning like a mixtape CD labeled in Sharpie, moi plus toi, me plus you. Let's talk social justice and politics and art and whisper sweet nothings in French. You were the work of art in the gallery. I was the patron, and we were in high school knowing nothing about the real world and everything about Cinderella and the Prince. 2. No, I am the Scarlet Pimpernel, a nepotism baby sympathizer, proximity to Beverly Hills with a scent of alcohol wipes, my drug of choice. I remember standing on the Walk of Fame, myopic eyes trying to make out the Pantages, thinking, I'll never see a show there as long as I am alive and in collection, the debt unpayable as lost sleep. You don't have bags beneath your eyes. You swore off McDonald's and meat, and maybe that was the secret sauce that got you ushered into the Ivies. Maybe it was your famous Nashville dad, test prep classes, private tutors, and sense of entitlement, thinking you could buy my affection by name dropping. I know a guy from the band you like, Mr. Wives, right? 3. I said no to the date when I discovered the bet you made with your bourgeois bros, the regatta kid and the track star, both of whom I mistook for you because, from a distance, many rich white athletic boys used to look the same. Used to. 4. You said I would regret saying no, but remember when you asked me for my body count in a public hallway. They can hear you. They can hear you. And they say, thinks he's the shit?
Man, y'all, keep it going, keep it going. Thank you so much. Yeah, keep it going, please. That is amazing. I was nowhere that courageous, or there's no way I could have put those words together like that. Y'all give it up for Phoenix again, please. Phoenix approached me and Sonny before this and said, you can read my tag, this is my given name, but I'm going by Phoenix, and that's what it is, and that's what it is. Thank you so much for getting up here and that was dope. That was dope. So without no further ado, y'all already know how Casey does. Give it up for Casey, the group. Please, keep it going.
Hello. Thank you for coming today. I was really nervous, not like in the full extent of that word, and not in the full extent of the word apprehensive either, so I don't know what it is. But I really appreciate you all coming. I haven't read poetry in a long time. There's a woods out in Gobles, Michigan, 12.1 miles west of the Meyer Pond, Michigan. And it's the woods that I've walked through since I was a child. And when I almost died in 2016 because of heart complications, a lot of people felt really bad, and so they came and they gave me gifts. And one of the gifts that I was given was I can walk out there whenever I want. So now I'm able as an adult at 33 to walk on trails that I made when I was 8. And it's pretty badass. And so the other day, without any knowledge that I was going to read here today, I went through, and about every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I stopped, sat, or stood, or whatever, and I wrote a poem. I'm going to read 2 of them. This one's called The 12 Deer. I walked toward the glittering thing on the ground, in the middle of the field. I am so exposed. It's just a rock. This is not my property. I have a memory of being middle school age and hiding in the brush, crouched down on a deer trail, watching as my neighbors discovered that I broke their tractor so they couldn't cut down any more trees. Imagine, you are an adult, taking care of some diseased elms, but it feels like you're being watched. You turn, and through the prickers and the invasive roses, you see a pair of eyes. You must be making it up. Your brain transformed the eyes into shadows. You kick the tire of the tractor and head back home. When I stood up, I heard a sound that was not human, directly in front of me. No more than 20 feet away stood 12 deer, staring at me. I bowed to them, which made sense at the time. The buck lifted his head high, and almost in unison, they all leapt into the air and ran away from me, their white tails tracing chalk lines in the twilight. As an adult, in an attempt to remember, I tattooed a drawing of a deer on my chest with the number 12 on its neck and the rune for believing in my ability to change. In the field today, I walked out into the middle, something I have never done. This is not my property, but everything is so alive. Right there, bubbling under the surface, every single shade of brown, every shade of green, all of this energy, just waiting for the small flock of blackbirds to erupt from the pool. Life is difficult, but I've made it to the middle. And then I walked a little bit further. This one is called Nighttime Stage. She marked time and walked slowly from side to side in the potato field. The black squirrels curled up in the trees. The white moths flew toward her face, but it was comforting. It's interesting to chase something even if you don't know what you're chasing. Rustling away from you in the brambles on the side of the trail, even though you're both going the same direction. This is not my property. Her parents warned the neighbors that if they heard singing coming from the woods in the middle of the night, not to be alarmed. She's practicing. For what? They'd say. Her parents never knew how to answer. But when I walked out of the bedroom window and saw the red line of the sun meeting the light corn yellow of the field, I caught on the wind. When she was in high school, she gave a blowjob to her best friend, and then everyone called her a faggot for the rest of the school year. She tried to get over it by breaking into her neighbor's hunting blinds and smoking copious amounts of weed with her friends. And she tried to stay sane out of the corner of her eyes by attending Narcotics Anonymous rather than learning how to cry, which became a real problem later. Now that she's 33, every time the tears well up, she's transported back to 3 o'clock in the morning, stoned as hell, following the deer tracks to the white stone bridge, where she can watch her neighbor's house in the dark, the light of their windows too far away to show on her face. And she breathes deeply to keep the tears from falling. Turning her back on the bridge was always the hardest part, the ears of corn under her feet crunching, the same noise a rabbit makes when it scares. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Whew. I'm gonna invite us again to breathe. Wow, this is a tremendous dose of poetry and authenticity. Whew. We are so lucky. Please welcome our next reader, Kathy Jennings. Woo! Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you all for being here tonight. I've been with the Poetry Festival for 10 years now. All of them. And this is what happens when you make someone wait 10 years to read a poem. And this is a poem, some of you, I don't know if you'll remember this or not. I wrote this for a Daisus class back in the day. The next to last poem. No, I can't turn my head. I slept with 5 books under my pillow. The complete works of Dickinson, probably a mistake. But now, I don't have to read them again. It's all up here. You cannot put a fire out. You cannot fold a flood. See? It works. Now I can write the greatest poem ever written, so astonishingly brilliant, no one will even want to write a poem again. This will be a 5-star, no, a 10-star poem. 1 star for each reference to a living poet, and 2 for a dead poet. 2 artfully inserted words in Italian, Google rocks, and a reference to Ars Poetica, oh wait, is that so 1990? Stars for me. My subject, Charon, the drunk healer, half man, half horse, centaur in a word, Greek mythology allusion, 2 stars. This started at about 4 a.m. Where do things in dreams go? Do they pass the dreams of others? Just before the dog started barking. 4 a.m., that time when the aliens start downloading their instructions. If you're in a thin space at 4 a.m., you might leave this plane altogether. Took one of the empty sleeves between my fingers and held it, the rough, palpable fabric. I reached through the other side. Shh, they are a beagle and a shepherd. Can you see them? Beagle mix and Australian shepherd, to be honest and true. I switched it because I think beagle and shepherd is more poetical. There's not much poetry in dogs barking sharply at 4 a.m. I thought this poem was going to be about my father in his hospital bed. Dying, 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 but maybe not fast enough, and not knowing whether to pray, please don't kill him, or maybe kill him faster, because this time or next time, he might not be able to feed himself. And some days he doesn't talk, but next time, he might not be able to talk even if he doesn't want to. Or about my mother, who is not dying yet. Sad poems about crazy people, it's what I write. She thinks more symbolically than he does, and it seems to have saved her. This is about 4 a.m., and how I can't stop the dogs from barking, can't even see what makes them bark, can't stop him from dying, can't stop anyone from leaving, but I could end stop this line anytime I want. Let my line length go right off the page, go giddy with enjambment. A line I spent weeks crafting can be crossed out, exiled, exterminated, Sieg Heil. Foreign language, Nazi German, no points. You're right, I never spend weeks revising lines. Don't be so literal, this is a poem. Wait, you can take away my stars? Once I wanted to write a poem about newfound parents. I could make you believe they were my real parents. Poets can do that, unless you know my parents, or have read any of the 70 other poems about my family. Now they are old, there is no point in it. What strange appetites we have that make us rewind time and summon up the landscapes of our pain long after the lips have been unleashed from their humiliated smiles. I know you were shocked and disappointed to find out poets make things up, but I would never lie to you. Truth and the imagined are not mutually exclusive, no matter how manipulative. If the emperor, insert cliche of choice here, if you chose has no clothes, I made you choose that. When I'm a famous poet, I will make you come too. What special word gets you off? Shudder and scream. Obligatory sexual reference, all points restored. Don't make an 11-year-old visit her mother in a state hospital. Just don't. Stop saying suicide is cowardly. That much pain is too much to endure. Call it cruel, that is undeniable. A man with a long flowing beard, arm reaching, finger outstretched says, "Thou shalt not rhyme," but internal rhyme is cool and often lyrical. Slant rhyme violates no commandments except when used on the Sabbath. And version 6 had no punctuation, way over the top. Do you worry about life as material, about being an observer, not a participant? Does observation equal participation? Was it where they lost me I finally found myself? If poets were everyone, would we fight wars with ghazals? Will someone declare fatwa against me for suggesting it? Formerly obscure poem reference popularized by Heather McHugh, half point. Suffering is a place to visit. Don't live there. If you decide to live there, you will probably have to kill yourself. And we've already established your survivors will consider you cowardly when all you are is cruel. My single-minded goal for decades has been insanity denied. I know a few tricks. When a misery-making thought starts looping through your brain. Shout, stop. Silently, of course. After 2 years, you don't have to shout it. You can just blink. You won't remember that night when you drank stop so much and walked across town, stop, and got into his car, stop. See, it works. Do you know the difference between self-preservation I'm sorry, I lost my place. Do you know the difference between self-preservation and selfish? They look the same. They are not. Self-preservation is sitting in a circle of 12 women, building a temple of light. Bat shit crazy. Insanity embraced. Easier than fighting it. And the energy makes your hair stand on end. The aliens told me a poem is charged language. So if this is ever done, I'm going to take it and connect it to jumper cables and see what lights up. It was the kind of morning the dark never left. The truly wild were curled up asleep or in some high nest looking down. There was no way they would ever let them love them just right. I used to believe in words, really believe. I don't trust them anymore. There are too many words. Some days I wander around muttering, too many words. Let's invent a new form, shorter than haiku, just ku. The 2-word poem, don't leave, don't die, love me. Thank you.
Ten years representing at the Kalamazoo Poetry Festival. I think that's amazing, and especially 10 years to just finally share. Thank you very much for sharing that. We're gonna keep it going, and because I don't wanna mess up this last name, I'm gonna say, give it up for Caitlin, but I'm gonna ask when you get here, will you please say your last name so we can respect that in the community. Give it up for Caitlin. Zakar? Zakar. Okay. Yes. Give it up. Caitlin Zakar. All right.
Can you hear me okay? Can everyone hear me? Yeah, I can hear me. I'm a first-year teacher in first grade for KPS, and I have 4 poems that the kids wrote about a rainbow and things that they love in their life. So the first one is by Anaya. So R is for roller coaster, red and read. O is for October, Oreo, ostrich. Y is for yo-yo, yellow, yummy. Green is for green and green beans. B is for blueberries, baby. I is for ice cream, and V is for video games. Then I have one from Khalil. R is for roller coaster, orange is for orange October, yellow is yellow, Y is for yellow yo-yo, G is for green beans, B is for baby Yoda, I is for infinite, and V is for vampire. Big word for them. This one's Kimura. R is for run, rainbow, read. O is for octopus. Y is for yo-yo, York, and yellow. G is for green grass. B is for blue whale. I is for indigo ice cream. And V is for violet video games. Violet, not violent. And this one's from Asil. R is for red roller coaster. O is for orange October. Y is for yellow bananas. G is for green grapes. B is for blue beautiful ocean. I is for indigo ice cream. And V is for very cool video games. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing some more youth voices in the room, and thank you for teaching. We appreciate it. Woo! Please welcome our next reader, Susan Blackwell Ramsey.
There is a step up. And while we're still applauding, can we applaud
this person in front. I deeply regret that I can't watch her while she's doing mine. So don't look at me, look at her. Kalamazoo decides she likes her name. It's true, she used to cringe when people laughed. She wished she had a normal name, like Springfield. But the way Glenn Miller savored her name, letter by letter, helped. It really did. She started to feel special, briefly drew those O's with double hearts, then razor trimmed it to an edgy zoo. Kalamazoo. She says it slowly, rolls it on her tongue, over the pebbles in feeder creeks, the A's flat as Midwestern prairies, the Z buzzing in wild lupins, that single L bobbing back and forth between the A's, meadowlark on a grass stem, the final ooh waist deep in that long grass, glad at having tricked your lips into a kiss. You know it's going to snow next week, right? Is anyone here actually surprised? If so, you're not from Michigan. So, differentiation, or to quarterbacks, tan and taupe seem just the same. We feel cheated. April didn't read the contract. Snow caps the daffodils. Where is our spring? 12 months, 4 seasons. Don't we get 3 months of lambs and puffy clouds and bunnies, warm breezes, blooming trees, and pale green leaves? When a child steps into the particular and starts to see things linked in constellations, not just spot, but dog, then animal, her world grows wider. Like a bag, a basket, a concept makes small things easier to tote. But sometimes if we build too big a box, that word becomes one size fits all, a label we've all learned is a lie. Love, for example. A raccoon and a Komodo dragon staring in their drinks and miserable because they can't be peacock for each other. That's one problem. My backyard is another. By spring, we mean a quarter year of bloom, same problem we have with fall. It goes too fast. We say 4 seasons, but it's really 2. Hot and cold, split by 2 quick transitions. It can help to look through different lenses. This one, click, or this, to make things clear. The Chinese recognize 24 seasonals, from waking of insects, lesser fullness of grain, to white dew. More than one template may fit. If only we could samba between concept and the smell of his temples, between ideal and the fur on her upper lip. Japanese had just one word to contain the blue-green range, but had midori to denote the tender green of springtime grass. Okay, this one is for everybody, including the band. If you're here just because you're related, if it's the band, this one goes for everybody. It will be on the test. Why you should carry 2 pens. Be told, the mind is not your friend. Businesslike, you stride along while your mind snuffles beside the path, distracted by odors and ghosts. It brings you sticks, burrito wrappers, bones, baby rabbits, a new idea. You feel you ought to write it down, but you're late for work or nearly home, or you feel pretentious stopping to write, and your mind says, I'll remember that. These words are the sound forgetting makes. Deep in the basement of your brain, they're the creaking hinge on the trap door over the alligators. You have 30 seconds to write down your good idea before it's gone forever. Yet it can be worse. I couldn't forget that means you have 10 seconds tops. Go grab a pen from a stranger, write it on your hand, your shirt, the baby. Everything goes sooner or later. Save what you can. In the dark, the alligators doze.
Thank you so much. I hope y'all know while you're being entertained, you can also learn something, because I've been just learning the whole time. So thank you, and give it up again, please. We're gonna keep it moving with Vidal. Vidal. Welcome Vidal to the stage.
Hello.
Hey.
This is my third Kalamazoo Poetry Festival. And so funny, Sunny is the person that invited me to my first, so we love Sunny. I wanted to really quick kind of put the word out. On Tuesday at 9 a.m. in courtroom B at the courthouse 227 West Michigan, Monty will be on trial for some kind of fucked up charges that aren't real, because cops. And we are asking all community members to show up and support them. Monty is a Afro-Anishinaabe mother who has done so much for this community and has fought so hard to protect our unhoused members against the unjustful evictions that have been happening since September. Show up if you can, sign the petition. You can find her at, what is her Facebook? That's a great question. You can find her at Monty Washington Padula. You can sign the petition there. Tuesday, 9 a.m., courtroom B. Thank you. And now I will be reading. It's not the one I sent. Sorry, ASL interpreter. I am not humble. 7th grade, a classmate told me she liked the way I dressed. I said, I know. I am not considerate. I stole from stores not because I needed to, but because if they didn't catch me, they deserve to be stolen from. I am not coy. If I want something from you, I'll tell you. Mama was passive-aggressive and Dad was just aggressive, so it's always do no harm, take no shit, gentle until I have to keep myself between dogs and friends. I am not modest. I have Instagram stories just about my sexcapades. I am the bitch upstairs who has loud sex. I am not ashamed of how many men I have allowed visitation into my body. I am not proper. I shaved my head just because I wanted to stand out. Sleeveless shirts brought the focus on my arms, the most masculine part of my body, but some cunt still wanted to stare at my ass. So I made myself the ass, forced their eyes up to meet my resting bitch face, chapped lips and acneed forehead. I wish a bitch would call me adorable. You know what I am? I'm patient. I'll give you the space you need and I'll be in mine. My walls built higher than the Radisson and its weird, ugly landing pad. No, I will not let you in. No, you cannot get my passwords, nor will you get my insecurity questions. I've changed and rearranged them so many times. I wish someone would send me a link into some phony Facebook site trying to hack me. Wish someone would steal the control I am lost in. Wish someone would tell me how to do instead of what to do. Wish someone would tell me there's a spare toothbrush under the sink, to spoon him instead of kicking me out of bed. I am not indecisive. I'm not stuck on the choices, I'm stuck in my walls. Got my carabiners strapped to shoestrings. My fat ass was not cut out for free climbing. I'm not a bad bitch. I've been thrown into wells and bunkers and walls and doors and windows and cars and dark rooms and showers, and I am not dead. I am Vidal Kidlat Wilger, means I am vital to this earth, means I spit lightning from the empty child, means I will spear through whatever hard-headed asshole tries to stop my energy. This is an ode to me, because I deserve it. I deserve the names I've been called and what I answer to. I deserve these chapped lips from all the gentle love I leave in my wake. I deserve the stupidly chubby fists of a 16-month-old tracing my acne stars. I deserve so much more than I am given, and so do you.
Please welcome our next poet, Caitlin R. Woo! That's all right. There were a lot of Caitlins, so I'm going to look at that list one more time. I'm so sorry. That was a Kathy R. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
I'm really glad to be a part of this, and I'm glad that everyone came. Spring morning after Gerald Stern. If you've seen the single yellow iris blooming with the pink peonies, then you have probably seen the drill sergeant and his pack of lieutenants, cedar waxwings with the epaulets on their shoulders. They come and go, maybe nearer to the lake, keeping watch, ordering the swallows into the bank like dive bombers. You hear the morning's mild rain and make a few different plans. In bed a little longer, reading a little closer. And this is specimen for R. You are a microscope, long and thin, big eyes behind your glasses, farsightedness and all. You espy me and study me, and suddenly I need to see if I've remembered to button my shirt or have spinach in my teeth. I'm pinned to a lab print. Categories are being ticked off, appendages accounted for, surfaces combed. Does this material attract bees or bugs? Will this eyelid open wide enough to deceive some small ant? You watch me and make mental notes and also real notes with a yellow pencil, with an eraser. I'm like some end product left over after the procedure. You have removed your white coat and I don't know if I walk away or get covered by a sheet. Thank you.
Microphone wasn't on. I got it. Yeah, y'all can give it up again. I heard y'all spin the clap again. That's what's up. We got amazing poets, and they've been just coming through, just sharing and dropping it. So without no further ado, Caitlin Martin. Y'all give it up. Y'all gotta keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey again. This poem was recently published by Breakwater Review. The title is Probable Cause. Murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. My beloved and I sing to each other as we shoot cops in Grand Theft Auto. I automatically remind folks frequently this is a video game, so as not to confuse desire for a peaceful world with a bazooka fired into a squad car. I love the way they fly away from the wreck upon impact, but it's just a game. Please don't take things so seriously, or you'll always be shocked. It's not like I shot them execution style or left their bodies laying in the road for hours. I mean, they always win in the end. You promised you wouldn't kill me, Natasha McKenna told the deputies as they slowly stole her life. I shoot down 16 helicopters with 5 stars the whole time before they get me. The chief here tossed pepper balls near my friends with a small flick of the wrist. I drive to ammunition and fill up my railgun, launch 5 high-velocity projectiles the way they light up like sparklers. Pop, 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 boom, boom, boom. Makes you wonder who would do something so horrible on purpose. Thank you.
right. All right. I believe our last, almost our last individual reader is Denise Miller. And wow, that's all right. Yeah, never mind. Denise Miller has books, and you can find them. So we are now going to have a little intermission before we gather back to hear a community poem and then a little something of something else from Daisus. I'm just very stimulated by all the poetry, so thank you for your grace. Please take a very quick 10-minute intermission, and you won't want to miss the second half. Thank you so much.
think we everybody about ready then? Because I wanted to share something. I almost got booted off. And I was like, wow, I wanted to share something. This was important to me. And normally, I don't read things, but I got like 1.5. And because normally I don't read things. I like to know them. But when I heard about doing something for the community in the garden, I wanted to share this. It's something I did called Vanity. I'm going to just say it. Arrogance of man, does it go against God's plan? Can a rose be admired where God had it placed, or do you think it looks better when it's sitting in your vase? An aquarium to hold what's already being held in a body of water created for them to dwell. Was what God made not everything they needed, and does wanting it for ourselves make us conceited? Is it not outrageous to see birds in cages while we fly to different heights and stages? A tame lion in a circus for the purpose of viewing. Think of all the things man has either altered or ruined. Is it vanity that makes us want it so close to see it every day and say that we love it the most? Are we selfish? Shouldn't what we love be free and always be what it was intended to be? All right, now, with no further ado, his name is Pico. That's what I'm calling him, because I looked it up. He got a little tag on there, and I looked up what Pico meant, and it's like 1 trillionth or something. So I wanted to say that, and that's my little piece, but this is the piece that I wanted to do for y'all today, because a host is also considered an MC, master of ceremonies and things like that. So y'all watch this real fast. I love this one. I know a lot of y'all heard of MCs before, just probably never knew what the MC was for. Is it microphone controller, move the crowd, master of ceremonies, or musical clowns? If the music companies have a major celebration for meaningful conversations, I'll make for certain y'all that the master came in a mink coat, matching Converse, munching on some chips, drinking some Moet champagne. Mike Curse doing my mic check. In the middle of the concert, I may call my medical cannabis connect. Manhandle your crew. Man, I'm so cold. If I flowed in the Mississippi church, it'll make Miami cool. Not to mention my cadence. Mental capacity makes classics of my creations. MC most confidently. Model citizens confident when they listen to me. And this is my career. It's also my chance to make things more clear for my culture. Even when the millions come, magazine covers and movie cameras, I'm still keeping my composure. Money can't bring my mama closure. If I mimic and copy these mangy chumps, they hit the music charts. They got no hearts, no souls, like Manchurian candidates under mind control. Want to misguide the children, glorify means that they chose a moving crack through minority communities. Money can't never let the mortuary close, but your mouth can. And hold up. All I'm saying is mark your calendars like you know the Messiah coming. Like you want media coverage of the mountains crumbling, the moon crashing, mushroom clouds. I'm so much of an MC, if I float in Morse code, I can move crowds. Maintain the crown while the mob chill. Merciless champion hit a mini camp with a Molotov cocktail. I'm talking multiple casualties. I most casually murder competition like a military commando marching confidently to this military composition. I don't know a lot of other MCs, but I might let the mutated chihuahuas fix me macaroni and cheese. That's cool. I love that piece. That's called IMC. I love doing that. That's what I do. That's my passion and what I love to do. And every time I have an opportunity to build with community like this, it just means so much. This is the Kalamazoo Poetry Festival, and with no further ado, I'm gonna get it out the way, put the microphone right here, and give it up for Casey. Keep giving it up.
All right, thank you all for coming back in here. So back in February, we had an ekphrastic poetry event. So ekphrastic poetry, a lot of you probably know this, so if I get it wrong, I'm sorry. So essentially, it's if you have another piece of artwork and you write poetry inspired by it. So whether that be a film, a piece of visual art, what have you. And so we partnered with Annalie Rader and Eric Visalauskis, who co-own Dream Scene Placemaking, which is a local Kalamazoo public art initiative. They helped us host the event at Move with Joy Studio on Portage Road, about 5 minutes from here. And what happened was we had our theme, we explained the theme of the garden, and then we had a bunch of youth all the way up to older folks who came and created artwork, which is what is along the side wall here. And so yeah, what we did is we took those pieces of artwork and we gave them to the Friends of Poetry, who a few of them were in the Ekphrastic event as well, and they wrote a group poem based upon those pieces of artwork, and that's what you're going to hear now.
While they're getting up here, we're Friends of Poetry. This is Beth Bulmer, Robin Church, Elizabeth Kurlikoski. We drew together. The poem I remember was by a little girl who wrote about not having anything to write about, and there was the poem, A Miracle. We drew together visions of our gardens in all seasons. We lay our artwork on the floor, creating another garden, the one that wraps around that room tonight, where we have drawn together.
I'll see you at the fairgrounds.
Arcadia.
In winter, Kalamazoo dreams of thaw. Sunshine smiles and honey, golden wet webs, collecting minuscule drops or two. Golden flickers against the dark. Sun spark, returning to find Kalamazoo.
Lost in a labyrinth of blue. Underwater is a womb with an indigo embryo. One eye visible from the side. Cells divide. Above, a girl in a red sweatshirt collects the sun in a jar along Oakland Drive. The sky, robin egg blue. Cumulus clouds briefly catch on treetops. Over everything, a holy red presence. A rooster with a multicolored comb, watching all with its large green eye, unblinking.
I'll see you at the Doodah Parade. It will be crazy for a while when one-way streets become two-way, but it's already crazy out here. We don't want to be the town with one-way streets where you have to go where you don't want to go to get where you want to go. As a way to travel, it's historical as our brick streets. Rose Street, Black Lives Matter Street, once one way, is now a two-way street, which seems like progress. Some of you will travel it tonight, and some traveled it to get here, where we have drawn together.
We traveled down a charcoal road of one drawing to the Meyer parking lot and circled home of men in snowbanks, their torsos bare and chiseled, distracting from the grunge of day.
Drawn together, we hold many hands over this poem, fired by imagination, warming ourselves as Kalamazoo dreams one yellow flower, dreaming hundreds of its kind.
I'll see you at the farmer's market.
See you at Asylum Lake.
A wolf spider mends her broken web, heavy with jeweled water. She waits for the next tremble in her feet, secrets herself in a corner. Millipedes wriggle, soundless worms push through. Beetles begin their long ascent toward the sun.
Near the bank of a small, choppy lake, Kalamazoo is dreaming, a hummingbird's dream of juicy honeysuckle, a night owl's dream of midnight voles, a deer's dream of late-season tomato vines.
In November, when the garden is done, harvested or left to compost, we open the gate and let the deer in to graze on leftovers. They nap in the oregano and munch sage into winter. When we take back the garden in April, the deer are busy birthing. Sitting time is done. Time for all things growing.
I'll see you at the air.
Michigan News.
See you at Studio Grill.
In Kalamazoo, cacti burn, and the one with the thumb is trying to hitch a ride to where anemone and blue stars bloom. Petals don't fall, but shoot like rockets beneath their shallow roots.
They wait along Westnedge for someone brave enough to pick up prickly passengers, sharing the succulent dream in which ranunculus, the color of smoked salmon, swim
Within 7 layers of soil, Kalamazoo dreams, tangerine roses, lilac chrysanthemums, lemon and lime, pale pink and magenta dripped like wax droplets on snow, and violet skies of never-ending stars, all the way to the stony surface of the moon.
I'll see you in all your human glory, crossing the street,
shopping,
bending to lead your garden.
I'll see you in this community where
we live and grow together.
I'm not sure if this was mentioned, but Jennifer Clark also wrote poetry that Beth Bulmer blended together.
All right, now we're gonna hear from Di Seuss through the video. We can breathe in the meantime. Just a big.
Give yourselves a round of applause for being so bad.
Right?
Kalamazoo Poetry Festival. Hey Kalamazoo Poetry Festival. This is Diane Seuss, and I've long been a fan of the festival and of the community in Kalamazoo. It really gave birth to me as a poet and to so many other great poets in the area. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to read for about 15 minutes entire, and I'll read a few sonnets from my most recent collection, Frank Sonnets, and then a poem or two from my forthcoming collection called Modern Poetry, which was actually the title of the first real poetry class I ever had. And it was at Kalamazoo College when I was 18 years old, taught by the incredible Conrad Hilberry. So I'll start here. This is from Frank. No need to sparkle, Virginia Woolf wrote in a room of one's own. Oh, would that it were true. I love the kids who didn't. June, can't remember her name, tilt of her head like an off-brand flower on the wane. Her little rotten teeth, the color of pencil lead. House dresses even in 4th grade. And that boy, Danny Davis, gray house, horse, eyes, clothes, fingertips and prints. Freckles, not copper-colored, but like metal shavings you could clean up with a magnet. Now, Mrs. LaPointe was a dug-up bone, but Miss Edge sparkled, taught the half and half class, 3rd and 4th grades cut down the middle of the room like a sheet cake, wore a lavender chiffon dress with a gauzy cape to school, aquamarine eyeshadow. Sweetie, she whispered to me, leaning down, breath a perfume. Your daddy's dead. Tears stuck to her cheeks like leeches or jewels. If you've read the Odyssey, you may recognize sort of the trope here of the woman, maybe widowed, in this case widowed, trying to keep the suitors at bay. But in this case, it's my mom. His body was barely cold when the suitors swooped in on the young widow. The ground was still fresh over the grave. It was spring. The president had been shot a few months earlier. Ness mocked the gravedigger's work. The suitors swooped in from all directions like carrion birds. The first, an oval-headed man from across the road with dirty phone calls the night after the funeral. Then one cornered her in the garage by the bag of her husband's clothes. And two brothers peeked in the windows and tapped on them like woodpeckers. And the school ring salesman, and the old man who looked like Colonel Sanders, and Al, her friend's husband from Wabash, Indiana, while his wife was strapped down getting shock treatments. And the small man with a big voice who pawed in the night at the screen door like a bear roaring her name. Just a few months earlier, she'd watched the president's funeral on television. There was Blackjack, riderless horse, boots set backward in the stirrups. And the president's widow, walking straight-spined under a black veil. And now the robins hopped as they always had, their songs like a tangle of string in the air. And how did she fend them off, the suitors, and go to college, and read Ulysses, and write papers on that manual typewriter, and feed us, my sister and me? As you'll see, I've chosen poems that emerge out of Michigan. For a couple years, I slept nights in Babe's basement on a low gold couch right up next to the wood burner. Mom had been displaced from her own house, long story, so my sister and her kids and husband could live there. They'd crossed the bridge to move back home because Em had a hole between two chambers of her heart. Mom stayed in a one-room place, a little crouching house set back off the road behind the trailer park, kerosene lamp. Nowhere for me to sleep, so I'd run across the yard and crawl under the barbed wire to Babe's basement door. They'd keep it unlocked for me. When I needed to pee, I slipped out the door in the middle of the night to unbridle my stream like an animal, squat and watch the snow steam. And back inside, where the fire logs too were animals, settling in and licking each other with blue tongues. Vic was still alive then, Vic Sr. He had a shop set up down there for rock polishing, agates and tiger eyes. Pick, he said once, and I chose a fire opal. I guess the conditions of our lives were bad, but I was at peace, feeding logs into the stove's mouth, alone with the precious stones, there in the fabled underground. I'm going to read a poem from modern poetry. As I said, my forthcoming. And a big thing that it's about is sort of my quirky, cobbled together education in poetry and in life. So this is called My Education. Not just what I feel, but what I know and how I know it. My unscholarliness, my rawness, all rise out of the cobbled landscape I was born to. Those of you raised similarly, I want to say, this is not a detriment, and it's not a benefit. It only is. It is. Like a cobbled house is, field stones and mortar, slipshod, spare parts welded crookedly, crudely but cleverly. Skinny iron winding staircase leading to the attic, bolted on both ends. And up there, a gap in the window where the snow comes in and architects a little drift on the bed. And meals were cobbled, kernels on the cob haphazardly arranged, not lined up in military rows. And sometimes a row was not filled in at all, and your teeth, when biting down, met an emptiness. And shotgun pellets and the rabbit meat, stray hobnail dishes, studded, rescued from an abandoned house on fire, in an array of jewel tones, would appear without warning on the table. A blood-colored butter dish, yellow perch on a cobalt blue platter, encircled in fried egg sacks, or ducks, or a pheasant thrown erratic on the back porch, payment for something given or not taken. When I'd been away and returned, I could see freshly the cobbled lushness of the trees and the arbitrary drift of brown spots on the white cows in the meadows, and the wire worm-filled tunnels in the morels at the base of dead cherry trees. The cemetery is unsystematic, as is the library. Graves scattered like chicken feed, books strewn on old tables from canceled Sunday school classrooms. I loved books, but learned very little in school. I could read, so the reading instruction drove me nearly mad, and I plugged my ears, first with my hands until I was caught, then with something I could do inside my head that muffled the teacher's voice, like she was speaking into a canning jar. What I know of literature, of history, is pretty spotty. I was a poor student, disengaged from the things I didn't need, and I knew what I needed, and that the time to get it was now. When I needed Keats, I got him. I read enough to get the point, then tuned into his ghost. I read most of Joseph Conrad, having figured out that I could find some things repulsive and still require them for my project. My project was my life. There was no vision or overarching plan. There was only foraging for supplies, many of which were full of worms or covered in dust, like apples on the orchard floor, and furniture junked on the side of the road. Have you ever seen a pie cooling on the sill and found yourself hungry enough to steal it? Or does that only happen in picture books? If you are like me, to learn of the gods you must beg, borrow, or steal. Eavesdrop, as gossip is sagacity, a word I learned from Emily Dickinson. Don't underestimate direct experience. Ants know earth, dragonflies know air. A cobbled mind is not fatal. You have to be willing to self-educate at a moment's notice and to be caught in your ignorance by people who will use it against you. You will mispronounce words in front of a crowd. It cannot be avoided. But your poems, with all of their deficiencies, products of lifelong observation and asymmetric knowledge, will be your own. Built on the edge of tradition, they will rarely be anthologized. I have camped at this outpost my whole life, as did my mother, who slept on sugar sacks in the basement or on the front porch in early spring when snow still clumped around fugitive crocuses, just to keep herself forsaken. And I just have time for a very quick ending. And this is called Bobby, and it's from Modern Poetry. All the actors from the sitcoms I watched as a child are dead, and the musicians assassinated or natural causes. Take a hint, they shout from the top tier of the ancient Roman amphitheater. No, I will not take a hint. I still make a mean bowl of soup which can now be poured directly from a can and inserted into a box that heats via electromagnetic radiation. I once owned a guitar and learned me some of the chords to Me and Bobby McGee, and damn if I couldn't sing good. My voice was not like Janice, nothing like Janice. It was high, serene, forthcoming, piercing, mezzo, very lyric, very trill, hugely skinny, like a water spout. The neighbors complained about its beauty. I sang, I sung, I'm singing. I barely began to begun, and I'm not done. Thank you, Kalamazoo and Kalamazoo Poetry Festival. Good luck to all the writers out there, young, old, just beginning, and getting sick of it all. Thank you.
Give it up, give it up. Yeah. Thank you. You see y'all, Sonny always giving, give it up for Sonny, y'all.
Y'all are sweet, y'all are sweet.
Like always looking out for community, and that's so dope. So we got to give gratitude because that's part of the part, and I have to give you gratitude before giving the rest of the awesome, amazing poets that we had. And I want to go through the list. But I want y'all to, like, for real, I wasn't just saying that. Please give it up for Sonny.
And please give it up for Ed. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
For the Kalamazoo Poetry Festival for even having this. For First Congressional Church for allowing us to be here.
Yes.
And then we got to say, the sign language. Thank you so much for interpreting and being here to make sure that nobody is left out and that everybody's receiving. So I think that's dope to even have that. And shouts out to all of the poets.
Yes.
We want to,
I think, y'all, I've got to be
Kathy,
honest,
Marissa, Jen, Tanisha, Casey, Kathy, Caitlin, Susan, Vidal, Kathy, and Caitlin.
Woo! Yes! I love it. I love that we did that. I'm so excited, y'all. I will be honest, we are running a little over time. So I do want to be respectful. The open mic is next. There was a sign up outside. It is all happening, and Casey knows everything that's next.
I just wanted to say, Basic Comfort is going to be playing a couple songs. Feel free to fill out and leave while they're playing and come back in. You don't have to sit here the whole time. Just letting you know that was intended. You're not going to be rude if you gotta go.
Yeah, please welcome Basic Comfort. Please give yourself a large
Shouts out to Basic
warm.
Comfort.
Yeah. Woo! And stick around for the open mic. Oh yeah, and donate.
Thank you.
People
Donate. I'll let you do that.
Yeah, people put in a lot of time and do this for free, so yeah.
Oh. Hello. We got 2 songs for you. This first song is called Blind Spotting.
Check. Check. Sorry.
So you're fine. You're fine. Well, thank you, Kalamazoo Poetry Festival, for having us. This has been such a joy. Yeah, I'm not going to be as emotional as I was at the beginning of this, but that it was really intense. Yeah, but I love making art in Kalamazoo and growing into these spaces, and we're excited to play Blind Spotting for you. If Paul's ready. He starts the song.
Almost there.
You're close.
I got a tune.
So professional. You're ready. You're too ready.
Sam's.
My drums are in tune, you know?
If you would like to find us in the future, you can follow us on Instagram at basic underscore comfort. Or, are you ready? Or you can go visit our website at basiccomfort.band. At first glance, I thought you'd see me through the glimpses of me and you. And then it became so clear that that part of me and you is fear. Looking down the barrel of a gun, you trust in everything they do. I yelled at you, I'm not the one shackled by the pain of the past in you. But in a puff of smoke, it was done. You trust in everything they do. Blind spotting you, could never see. Shackled by the pain of the past in you. Trust in everything they do. This time around, you cannot hide. Cannot hide. Please open up your minds. Then it became so clear to the duality in our lives, without a fear of me to subdue. Looking down the barrel of a gun, you trust in everything. I yelled at you, I'm not the one shackled by the pain of the past in you. But in a puff of smoke, it was done. You trust in everything they do. Blind spotting you, could never see. Shackled by the pain of the past in you. Trust in everything they do.
Well, dang.
Well, I guess this is about it for us, so...
We got one more for you?
We got one more. It was a quick one. Well, I love playing music for this, and thank you, Kalamazoo Poetry Festival, for having us. Thank you, Casey, for having us. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Ed. Y'all were hilarious up here. Thank you, all the poets. Yeah. This is Fed Up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If somebody could tell me where we're gonna go, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't know. If somebody could tell me why we're going there, I can shake the feeling that I need to care. We're fed up, fed up, fed up, without any answer. Sometimes you got to sit back. Won't be gone for long. Put your headphones on. All that is to you now is sit around and wait for you. Are we really ever trying hard to stay out of sight? To be the one who doesn't want to put up a fight. Fed up, fed up, fed up without any answers. But sometimes you got to sit back. We won't be gone for long. Put your headphones on. All that is to do now is to let go of it all. We won't be gone for long. Put your headphones on. All that is to do now is to let go of it all. It all, it all, it all, it all.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much. That's Fed Up. You can follow us on all the things. I
I don't know when our next show is, but when we have one, we'll post about it. Thank you, Casey.
All right, hello everybody again. We're gonna go ahead and start the open mic here. So typically on past years, we've gone with Great Dane, Dana Hudson, and Dana suggested that we go with someone that they very much respect because of their energy and their creativity. So today we have Masaki Takahashi from Lansing. This is, yeah, give it up for Masaki. Masaki is the Poet Laureate of Lansing, Michigan. And so, yeah, just a reminder, we do have events tomorrow. We have workshops in the morning that, you know, everyone's already signed up for them, but we do have the craft talk that happens tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. with our featured readers, which is Kaveh Akbar, Hala Alian, and Tracy Brimall. And then we also have the finale at 6 p.m., and there will also be more refreshments tomorrow. So please come back. And if you've noticed, there are signs around for if you would like to be involved, either on the board or volunteering, and also for our upcoming event schedule, and also for donation. I'm not gonna beg, but all I'll say is please. So thank